So these are always really fun because we literally just met.
We did just meet.
And I love getting to know people in front of other people. Like this is,
You
fantastic.
just got a great example of classic Cranz, they call it. Wow, okay.
So I know this typically gets asked at, especially the first panel of the convention, but how did you get here? How did you get your start in voice acting? How did this journey begin for you?
Okay, and then ditto for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I was just a working actor in Dallas. I had an agent starting in '93. Did a lot of commercial work and indie films and music. I used to be skinny. I did some music videos. They have a lot of corporate training videos there. So just work. And then there was a sideshow I did just for fun back when there were cable access shows. Mm-hmm. And it was a comedy show, and one of my good friends worked there, and he also worked at the Dallas Observer, which is like the Chronicle, or whatever. What's the Austin? Is it the Chronicle?
It's the Austin Chronicle.
So it's that kind of paper, and he kept calling me going, you gotta go audition. They're having a casting call. This is in 1999. So I was 30, I didn't know what anime was. I've never heard of it. Never thought of voice acting. I did a lot of theater. Just Dallas, you can do a little bit of everything. So didn't even get it through my agent. And he had to call me 3 times. I think he could just hear, yeah, okay. But I just didn't think I had a chance. 3rd call, I called. I heard Chris Sabat on the answering machine, and I thought, that is a joke. That's not real. That can't be real. And it was. And I went in, and they played snippets of all the female parts in Dragon Ball Z. And they wanted us to try as closely as we could match the Canadian actors because they brought it down from Ocean Dub in Canada. And then I wound up with Chi-Chi. But I found out on my 30th birthday, and I was so excited, even though I didn't know what it was. And then, but they kept not meeting me. They didn't say, yeah, your character isn't going to come in for a while. So every month, once a month, I would call Sabat and go, did I make this up? Or like, did I dream it? And he's like, no. Because usually when you book a job, you start pretty soon. So that is my story. What is your story?
So I grew up in an acting family. My dad was a voice actor. I was about 8, and he was working on a show called Power Rangers.
I think I heard
it. So he played Rito Revolto, the skeleton dude on Power Rangers, and a bunch of the monsters. He had the exact opposite type of voice that I do.
That's interesting.
He was just big and burly, and I sound like I'm in middle school.
But for anime, that's golden.
It is.
Because I don't have the high voice that, I'll be like, dude, where's a role for me? They're like, girl, it's a sausage fest. Like, unless it's an old lady or a tough, I'm a character actress. But I don't have this squeaky, they try to match the Japanese. So
Yeah.
You're so lucky that you have that.
Benjamin Button voice acting disease, yeah. I feel like I'm playing younger roles now that I've gotten older. Anyways, I was 8, and...
Wait, you started?
I started when I was 8.
Anime or acting?
Well, I guess voice acting. Technically,
Cartoons, commercials?
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. So they needed a kid's voice on the show. I just happened to be there, and my dad's like, "He's a kid, throw him in the booth."
Because they never did it at Funimation. I mean, Aaron was the only kid from Full Metal Alchemist that was the only kid I've ever known to work there 2 years. So that's cool that they did that.
Yeah, and that's what got me started. And wow, I had a couple roles kind of growing up. I had one line in Cowboy Bebop. Okay, who's seen Cowboy Bebop? If you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, it is like one of the best shows ever. And there's this part where they go to Mars, and there's all these orphan kids. And there's one kid that has this little toy, and he's like, look at this, look at this. So that's me. He has a pot on his head, and in the script it said pothead. So I am pothead from Cowboy Bebop. That's high on the resume.
All right, I'll take it.
So yeah, just kind of got thrown in there and have been very lucky to kind of book the roles that I have. Thought I was going to be an attorney. I went to UCLA and studied political science and philosophy. Was about to take the LSAT, and then I booked a job, and then booked another one, and booked another one, and I'm like, the law library maybe can wait.
And my story is that my family sent me to Ole Miss, and lovely school, had a great time, didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was a history major and a psych minor, and boy, has that helped me in my real estate and acting career. like I wouldn't trade those years for anything, but literally they wasted a lot of money. Because I didn't get my MRS degree there. That means you're going to find a husband. Nor did I end up doing anything that I studied. So.
Well, they're beautiful decorations up on the wall, though. You can still keep those. Have a look at. That's all mine does.
Yeah.
I don't know where mine is. My family didn't even get. I graduated not a semester late. Like I had 1 month of summer school, and we lived in Fort Worth, went to school in Mississippi. It was just no one was going to go to my graduation, so I didn't stick around, and it didn't hurt my feelings. My family was just like, So I left, and they sent it to me, and I think it's in a trunk of keepsakes with playbills. And
It's somewhere.
back when you used to have photo albums, that kind of stuff.
What are those?
Right.
Bryce, get with the times.
So should we just kind of open it up and chat about whatever anyone wants
Yeah,
to
I
chat
think
about? Or?
They're the ones that are supposed to ask questions.
If not, I'll just keep interviewing you.
Same. I love. Did you ever watch Behind the Camera with Sam Jones?
I haven't. No.
You should. It's all in black and white. He has musicians and actors and writers and comedians, and he's been kind of in the business. He's directed and he's done a lot of photography on film sets. But they just sit there and have a conversation, and he does ask the questions, but it's real conversational,
Yeah.
not as interviewee. I highly suggest it.
I'll check it out. I will. Does anyone want to throw a question in? Sweet. Yeah.
You.
Sure. I just wanted to say, like, I respect both of y'all on what y'all do, but I just want to ask y'all, like, basically with voice acting, I know my favorite voice actor, she's a Japanese voice actor, she came from singing. So can you, like, go from, like, any genre and go into voice acting, kind of like that?
I mean, you have to be able to act.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I tell people, and they're like, how do you get into voice acting? I'm like, well, do you have to flat match on the stuff, or is yours pre-lay?
Do a little bit of everything.
Because most of Funimation, all of Funimation is dubbing. So if you don't already have your acting chops and like improv skills where you can be like literally you hop in a box, they scroll to your character name, show you the scene once, they may say, you're being attacked by villagers, or whatever, and you watch it once and try to look at your line and try to time it out and then go, and you just say it. So if a good voice quality is great, but I think acting chops are really important because you don't have time to develop the character. You don't have time to go and research I guess if you had the time to read the original subs, but we don't know what we're coming in to do. They'll say, hi, can you be there for Cliff at 2 on Tuesday? And I don't know what show, what part, unless it's a steady ongoing show. So, but a lot of the people at Funimation are also singers.
Okay.
And there's not one sort of path that you have to take to become a voice actor.
Okay.
I wasn't formally trained as an actor. I actually lean a lot to martial arts because I grew up as a martial artist. So I tend to think about, in fight scenes, what it's really like to throw a punch or to get
See,
punched.
and I didn't have that. So it was real awkward. I had to have the director be like, I don't know what a getting punched in the stomach sounds. I don't know what a fight yell sounds like. Like I
They
had
jumped in the booth and hit you?
method. I'm a method actor. So I agree with you. There's not really a path, and I say don't limit yourself to voice acting. There's so many cool, fun ways to make money as an actor.
And there's all sorts of different kinds of voice acting too. So anime and dubbing is just one sort of piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
I always tell people cast your net out as wide as possible and see what comes back.
Yeah, there's audiobooks, video games, but I think the best money in Sabbath was the highest booking commercial voice actor. And that's a whole other skill set that I've never even thought about, but I mean...
It's like playing the lottery, and you really just kind of... I I to this date still don't know the difference between a commercial read that books and one that doesn't. I just have no idea.
That's how it was when I used to do TV commercials. The one I'd be like, yeah, I nailed it. I would not get a call back on. And the one that I'm like, oh my gosh, please. Like I was on stage a minute ago, like, please, can I go now? Just don't see me. And those would be the ones I booked. And so I'm like, how do you learn from that?
I still don't know. Compared to buying lottery tickets or shooting darts at a dartboard blindfolded.
Yeah.
And one thing that's different now, a lot of the auditions, you don't actually go anywhere to audition.
Yeah.
They just send you the sides and then you audition from your home studio.
And send it out.
Email it out.
But the good thing about that is you can do it till you like how it sounds.
True.
In the old days, they'd be like, thank you, and I was like, oh, I could have done so much.
True, and audition however you're comfortable. Like I like to audition in my underwear a lot. Because I'm just comfortable, because no one knows the difference. You guys didn't know that.
My husband's uniform is his undershirt and boxers and socks. I'm used to that. And my go-to is my frumpy house dress or my PJs. And so when my real boss wants to do a video call, I'm like, no makeup, like just woke up out of bed hair for my real estate job, and I put a tape over the camera so they can't see me.
The tough part is like you really are trying to guess what someone you've never met would like for that role. So a lot of the times you just get a description for like anime or animation.
And sometimes a picture.
Yeah, they'll send you a picture or like a short video clip.
Yeah.
But sometimes for like, especially radio commercials or video games, they don't even have the character created yet.
Yeah.
So they just send you a description of the type of voice they're looking for. So I get a lot of these, boy 16, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all they tell me. And it can sound like anything. So you just guess.
And you really don't know. In one casting director workshop I took, he's like, don't get discouraged on auditions for commercials, especially because you have the client that owns the product, you have the director of the commercial, you've got like 5 different people that have their idea of what it should be. Maybe they're casting the kid first and the parent. I did a lot of mom stuff in commercials, then the parent. You don't know. What if you look like somebody's ex-wife and he hates her? Or you're wearing perfume that someone they were like, it's so weird. It was interesting to hear from the casting directors. They're like, can't take it personally. And don't do a safe read. Like, go all out. Whatever you think it is, commit. And if they might think of you for something else later if you weren't right for that one.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. That's the hope. Always you send those
Or
out
they
there,
might be
fingers
like,
crossed.
the hook dragging you off the stage.
Yeah, this one's straight to the trash.
Yeah,
I feel like my computer is just a graveyard of auditions that I didn't book and I would have loved to book. But I tell people also, if you book 1 out of 100 auditions, you're doing extremely well.
It's true.
It's all about numbers.
I don't go to any audition thinking I've got it. I just am like, look at it as a performance. And then if I get it, great. That's why I have other jobs.
It really is the job, is auditioning.
And auditioning skills are different than acting skills. I'm really good at taking direction, but I'm not always great at coming up with the initial idea. It's happened a few times and they've been happy accidents. But they really don't audition as much at Funimation anymore. They're doing a lot of simul-dub streaming, and so people will they typecast you, and that's fine. I'm the anime mom, or I'm a wacky character actress, and that works fine with me. But mostly I get called in for things and no opportunity to audition.
Yeah, and it's tough for people that live out of Dallas. I'm from LA, so the simuldubs make it almost impossible for me to get cast in major roles currently that are simuldub, unless I already had the role. So fortunately, they use this thing called Source Connect for Attack on Titan, so I wouldn't have to fly to Dallas every week to record a couple lines.
Sean Schimmel doesn't come in to do Dragon Ball. He does it from a studio theater. Laura Bailey's going to be reprising her role in Fruits Basket. She'll be doing that from LA as well.
Yeah, so it's interesting. One of the things that I love is being able to look over at the directors and see something that they do, because sometimes a direction isn't always like something vocally, like what you said about Bevins.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them how Bevins?
So this one director we both worked for, great guy, love working with him, but if he can't get what he wants out of you without trying to give you a line read, which I'm not even opposed to, especially when you're flat matching, he'll go, Cynthia, look out the window. And so I'll look out the booth and he's like, make that face and say the line again. And somehow, crinkling my eyes and making a weird frown while I talk will get out the right thing. It's weird what works, but that's why I say take acting classes, because physicality is really important. That's an example of physicality changing, my mindset. Or if I see a character, what the Japanese character, did, I will find myself in the stance of whoever I'm mimicking, and because that gives you the right energy.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I do the exact same thing. There's a character named Meliodas. Seven Deadly Sins, and as I was kind of finding the right voice for the character, I noticed his eyebrows were always up. So to do his voice, I literally have to raise my eyebrows so high that it stretches out my vocal cords.
Because he's not going to sit like this with high eyebrows.
That's true. And then I play another character in the show named Zeldris, who looks very similar to Meliodas, except his eyebrows are down the whole time.
So he's not going to be going, hi. That's interesting. It is. That's why I encourage people to just take acting classes and improv classes and get comfortable being seen and not caring what people think about you. Because if you can put your nerves aside, the director friends I have say, we're not there to judge you. We're rooting for you to do a great job. And if it's not for this, maybe there's something else we can think of you for, and so that's why I say do theater, do improv classes, take acting classes, so that you're done giving a hoot about what people think about you, and then you can free it up. And if you have the improv chops, you can say, okay, I see a lady, this is a Wendy Powell one, she's like, so I'm playing this hillbilly witch with, dementia. And so that layers it. She's like, well, what are things about a hillbilly? Well, they're going to talk like this and be rough. And then, well, what about a witch? And she's got her witch quality. And then add that she can never remember anything. And so that's how it just is helpful when you don't have the luxury of movies or theater where you get the script and the backstory and you can create layers to make it a really authentic. I'm sorry, I just got tired of that sentence. No, but a more layered, full, three-dimensional character. There you go.
I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it did. I didn't have to go that in detail.
I'm sorry.
That's what I do also. I usually get a question, talk about something totally different for like 10
Go
minutes.
into tangent, be like,
And then maybe make my way back, sometimes.
What was one of your hardest or funniest recordings you had to do?
Any funny or difficult moments?
Well, they're different for me. The difficult ones, I played Bellamere in One Piece, and she has to die. And now I got to redo. So they did the series. I didn't know my character.
Spoiler alert.
No, I did it a long time ago, 10 years ago.
So the anime, some people haven't seen
Okay.
it.
I was just kidding. All right, let's just say emotional scenes, because I'm normally a character actor that's like, crazy, wacky, or mom. But something where I have to be truly vulnerable geeks me out. I feel like an idiot when I do it. But Wendy's the opposite. When they're like, she'll cry. She really gets in there, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm just that shallow, or I suck, or if I'm just wasn't touched enough as a child, and so I'm very uncomfortable with emotions. And then the funny one was doing Shin Chin as a middle-aged white woman. There were a lot of jokes, not white, oh my God, middle-aged straight woman. That's the key part, straight woman. I didn't know what a glory hole was. And so I didn't get the joke. And I had to say something about a glory hole. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, why is that funny? My director just was younger than me, and we each felt like the other one was more conservative than me. He didn't want to offend me, but I loved watching him squirm and have to describe what that was. And so that's one of the tamer things I learned about in that show that most women my age that are heterosexual would not know why it was so damn funny. So I loved that.
I go to Urban Dictionary a lot for my outtakes. I've had a lot of great times at the booth.
Oh my goodness.
I have no idea what that is.
I'm not about to go there on this film.
Maybe we should wait for a later night.
Yeah, we're not going there. But that one was so bad. I couldn't believe such a thing existed after they told me what that was. So.
I let some really bad ones out in a show called Sword Art Online.
Yes, I saw them.
And my goal is just to get the director and the engineer to just like die of laughter. So it was like the dirtiest thing I could find on the internet, and I fit it perfectly in the flaps. So of course it was fantastic, and
I'm going to so do that when I get back.
You got to. I highly recommend it.
I could definitely
we were at a convention called Anime Expo, and they were showing the outtakes, and there were about 2,000 people in the crowd. And I'm like, I wonder if they skipped over those ones. And of course, those ones were highlighted in the outtakes. And someone was recording, and it's up on YouTube. I don't recommend you guys go and look it up.
I've already seen it. I've already seen it.
You see it? Don't look up what that means on Urban Dictionary. Look it up. I've had some really great times in the booth. I think the outtakes, in a number of the shows I've been in have been some like highlights of fun moments. I started doing this thing called bad anime reactions on purpose. Yeah, in a show called Blue Exorcist. It kind of started.
Do they like that and they keep it, or is it just to make them laugh and then you do it right?
Yeah, just to make them laugh. So I wait until they're expecting something like so it's very quiet. So the engineer on the other side of the soundproof glass, they have to turn the volume way up. So your sounds like that. And then I give them one of these.
Okay, I don't know the engineers that I'm working with right now well enough to do that, but I'm gonna.
They'll appreciate it. So one of my favorite one of those, my character was dialing a phone, and I gave one for each time he dialed, like. And they started playing it for the cast, and then everyone started doing it. So now there's hundreds of these bad anime reactions from Blue Exorcist, and then it carried on to Sword Art Online, and yeah, love doing that. And I think one of my more challenging moments, it just happened from not fully understanding what the character was when I got to the studio. So I was working for Nintendo on a game called Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yes.
And they were using a code name. So I had no idea what game I was working on, no idea what character I was playing. I just got a picture of my character, and it was this guy smiling, holding a crow in this purple suit. His name is Henry. So I get in the booth, and the director that day was Patrick Seitz, who I love working with.
I just met him.
He's fantastic.
He's really, really nice.
Yeah, he's a great guy, super talented actor, super talented director. So he's like, all right, Bryce, let's figure out a voice for this character, and the first line was, "Yay, blood."
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, okay. Yay, blood! And he's like, he's more excited about this. I'm like, excited, okay. Yay, blood! Yay, blood! Yay, blood! And he's like 100 times more excited.
Oh, wow.
He's like a psychopath.
So I went, yay, blood! And it's Henry. He's like evil Elmo. So it was challenging because I was so confused of what they were looking for and had to just kind of adjust.
Once you get it, you're like, oh, cool, now I know what to do.
Yeah.
Because they can be really awkward at first when you're trying to find
yeah, trying to discover that character voice is sometimes really tough. And sometimes you just, like, you go one direction and they're like, that is not what we're looking for, so you have to pivot and find something totally different.
Another Wendy Powell story. Recently, she got cast as a cat. And she just thought it was a one-time show up and say meow, and I don't know who Jeremy Inman is. He was directing it, they're really good friends. He's like, quit using a stupid voice. And she's like, but I'm a cat. He goes, but I cast you because I want your voice. You know, and she kept accidentally doing it in the cat voice, but no, they wanted the Wendy Powell voice as the cat.
As the cat, yeah.
And the cat's in every episode now, so.
She's probably happy she didn't stick with the cat voice then.
Oh, yeah. She is. Any more questions?
I'll let you choose.
I think you went first.
Who are your favorite characters ever voiced?
It's so hard. I mean, we do love them. I mean, Mitzi, because, like I said, it was a naughty, funny show, and it was fun. Chi-Chi, because she hits every emotion at 100% within the same paragraph. She's passionate. And she's gone on for 20 years, and she was my first role. And then Botan, just because I loved her. So I don't know if we have any Yu Yu Hakusho fans, but
Yes.
so she was awesome. And I got to play a little boy named Mitch, and I enjoyed him a lot. That was fun. Little nerdy little boy. So.
I honestly can't choose. It's so difficult to get work as a voice actor, and I feel like I've won the like anime
Anytime
lottery.
you get one. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, what role is your favorite? The one I'm doing next.
Yeah. So I always say, just look at my Wikipedia. That's my favorite. I've literally been filling up my social media with new characters. Like, I just feel so fortunate to have fallen into a number of these different really awesome roles, and to be part of franchises that I was kind of a fan of as a kid. So just recently, a game called Team Sonic Racing came out.
Yes.
And I get to play Silver the Hedgehog, who's a really awesome character. So yeah, I'm excited to be part
What are
of that
some of the
franchise.
other franchises that?
So Pokemon.
Yeah.
I grew up playing Pokemon for Game Boy. I played Red, picked Charmander first, and I got to play Red in Pokemon Origins.
Yep.
So I was really excited. When I got the audition for that role, I was like, I know what's going to happen because I played the game 2 times through. And then Final Fantasy. Like, I was a big, like, totally into Final Fantasy, played a lot of RPGs growing up. So I've worked on, it's called Final Fantasy Dissidia, and they bring all the heroes back from all the different Final Fantasy games, and I play a character named Zidane, or Zidane, some people call him, still don't know. But he's the main character in Final Fantasy IX, which I had no idea I was part of that game when I first started because another code name. But when I found out, I was like fanboying in the studio. Like it was hard to like hold that in.
Oh, that's right. That's really cool. I didn't know anything about the shows I got cast in, but.
I watched Dragon Ball Z growing up too. Yeah, I was one of those kids in karate that would watch Dragon Ball Z and then go to the karate studio and just try to go Super Saiyan. It didn't work like the show.
So one of the kids that I raised. And now you're raising your kids on it, I hope.
Gotta love it, yep.
Okay.
You weren't yelling hard enough.
That's what it was.
You almost popped the buttons.
I've gotten close to saying Kamehameha in the show. Has anyone seen Blood Lad?
Yes.
Okay, it's a great show. I play this otaku vampire mob boss. Yes, you have to see this.
You just blown his mind.
No, I've already seen it. I just never knew that was you.
I tricked you.
He still blew his mind.
Got it. So he's in this battle and he's like, I'm gonna use a move from one of the most powerful fighters in the universe. Kamehameha! And gets kicked in the face.
That's cool.
So I got close.
Well, I've never said it either.
Oh, that's true.
She's just the mom. She is very passionate. You've had your hand up for a while.
I always like asking these questions to voice actors. If you could cosplay as any of your characters that you've done, who would it be?
Bryce, I don't count.
I can't pick Bryce Papenbrook.
No.
Dang. I think Panina from Full Metal Alchemist. She's a badass and she shoots a cannon out of her knee.
Yeah.
So that would be fun.
Have you ever cosplayed before? I did one time. It's harder than it looks.
Oh, I'm sure it's hard. I have so much respect for all the work that goes into it and just how passionate it is. I can't even color in the lines of the printout coloring book. So, I don't think I would be good at it. I'd have to pay somebody. I'd have to cheat.
Yeah, have someone commission something for you.
I love costumes, but maybe you could have called it cosplay, but it wasn't at a con. So in 2001, went to a costume party as Trinity from The Matrix. That was good. Yeah. I'm not willing to get in a skin tight anything at this age. But, we had the glasses. I had my hair short, slicked back, and went and found the funky. It was fun. I miss Halloween. Now I just hand out candy to other people's kids. So we don't have
I don't know. It's hard to say. So when I did cosplay, I cosplayed as Aaron Yeager right after they announced me as the role. We threw this party in Hollywood because we thought you should dress up more in cosplay, so we called it the cosplay ball. And it was at this club. Yeah, it was super cool. So I had to go in character. So I had someone help me out, and they had the cape and the, not the straps, because I don't know how people do that. So there's these straps that all the characters wear, and it like kind of holds their whole outfit together.
Yeah.
And they didn't take physics into account. And when you order them, if you order the ones from China, they come with directions in Chinese, and it's just one piece of leather. So
That must be fun.
I have a lot of parents come up to me and go, "I hate you so much for letting my kid put these on." So I didn't do that, but they did have a wig for me, and they put the wig on me, and immediately I was like, it fell off. I don't know how people do that. So it'd be a character without a wig.
How very specific of you.
Yeah. Maybe Adrian from Miraculous Ladybug in just normal outfit, but then I'd have to like dye my hair blonde and not spike it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And you can truly go Super Saiyan.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, so.
Did you?
Okay, basically, I just want to ask y'all, have y'all ever, because I know this is like an idol con, so have y'all ever wanted to voice like an idol character before, like for voice acting?
Idol meaning like a singer?
Yes, like a singer kind of like character.
I don't think I'm the best singer. Thank you. Thank you so much. Auto-tune is my best friend. I'm definitely not a trained singer. Like you said, a lot of actresses and actors are trained singers. I'm not. I have sang in character, so as Cat Noir, and then I worked on a kids show called Ruff Ruff Tweet and Dave, where I'm a talking hamster, and I sing a lot of kids songs. So I'm okay at that type of singing. But I feel like if you're cast as an idol, there's a good chance you'll have to sing like an idol, and it wouldn't be great.
Yeah.
You can't give us a little snippet of
Or
that?
I'd have to practice a lot.
Yeah, I know, like, you probably get this from Mila, because she voiced Sylvia Leinheim, which is an idol character. So.
Mela Lee?
Yeah.
Well, Mela is a professional singer.
Yeah.
She's actually the lead singer in a band, and she is incredible.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be able to stand up to her.
I started, because all my acting stuff started with theater, so I was taking tap dancing and vocal lessons and, you know, acting lessons. And then when it came time, I sounded okay. I mean, I knew it was no Barbara Streisand, but what got me interested in acting was my parents taking me to musicals as a kid in our local professional music troupe. And then my hands would break out sweat just from the chorus people. I wanted to be up there. And so, you know, I felt pretty confident about the recital. And I say recital because I was like 23 or 4. No, at this time, 5 or 6. So it's embarrassing to have a recital as an adult. And my mom and boyfriend and grandmother came, and so I didn't know, because I never sung in public, that when you get stressed, your vocals tense up and you lose control. And like what came out of my mouth was not at all what I had rehearsed for like 3 months. And it was horrifying me to the point where I never auditioned for a musical. However, I got more comfortable singing. My sister is in the Austin music scene, and for my mom's birthday, she wanted us to sing 2 of her favorite songs. So we sang in no auto-tune. We sounded good. I mean, I would not go on The Voice or anything.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is my husband, oh God, he's so scared. We did karaoke when we first started dating, back when he would do things he pretended he was okay with. I had no idea he was like entering the mouth of hell at that moment. I thought he was all having fun in him. But what he likes to do when he gets his drink on, when I'm about ready to go to sleep, I'm tired of winding down, he wants to sing, you know, he likes goopy, 80s duet ballads, and I just hate them, you know. But anyway, so we sing a lot, but then like he makes us redo it, like critiques us, and he'll have a riff off, and we'll be like, who do you think did that better? And I'm like, you know, I try to be honest, but it's just so dumb because we will never do it in front of anyone, ever. So, anyway.
That'd make a fantastic panel. I really think you should try to get past that fear.
I really think it would make what it would make is a great reality show, because it's highly embarrassing, and I'll be in my house dress and he's in his like t-shirt and boxers. The funniest was when we tried to do the floss dance at 15 and video each other doing it. Yeah. Then we realized our whole den is all glass, and our neighbors, we have a fence, but our neighbors were having a party outside. So they'd see me in my nightgown and him in his underwear, sing loud, yeah, like we really give it 100%, you know. And then trying to do the applause, and like they're in college, right? So I'm sure they just pulled up some chairs and had their keg, and we're just like, we're probably on YouTube somewhere. So embarrassing, but it probably would make a great reality show. But I just have a little bit too much pride for any amount of money for people to see that. Because I probably looks in the mirror when we're doing it is really unattractive. Okay, so that was a tangent, sorry. Yes.
Yes. As an anime fan, watching, anime characters growing up, always daydreaming and imagining yourself as characters, how did it make you feel for the first time of like showing these characters to your family and friends, saying like, this is me, this is my voice that hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are watching and loving it?
That's such a sweet question. My family doesn't care. Well, they're not into anime. I mean, my mom's in her 80s, and my sister's real proud of me. I don't think they get our fandom. Like, she's excited that I'm here. She wants to know when I get a new role, and I'll play her little just snippets, but she wouldn't sit down and watch a whole show. And my husband puts up with it when I like scroll through on the DVR and find my scene and play it. And he's like, I mean, he's proud of me too, but it's just not his jam. So I was amazed when I found out how many people genuinely are passionate about it. So for me, it's very touching, but I just don't try to force it on other people. I wish I had more anime fans in my life. To share in my happiness. Thank you. y'all can come over and eat popcorn and pretend to be excited for my new role. What about your family? Your dad did it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's still kind of surreal for me to go to conventions and to have people that appreciate.
It's surreal. We hop in a box, we say some words, we leave. We don't know if the show's going to be big unless you're reprising something,
Yep.
or if your part's going to be big. Or I've had more small parts be major arcs in the show I did not know until I had people tell me. Oh, and then when it means it, when you get that show got me through my parents' divorce, or I was, your show was the only, Dragon Ball Z was the only show I could watch because my mom approved of your strict mothering, And it just is, you're like, you can't believe, you're like, I'm out there, like, you care. It's humbling.
Yeah.
For real.
It really is, and it's exciting because it's like a voice actor's applause also.
True, we don't get.
Yeah, we don't get applauses. Yay! I wasn't asking for
That's part of the high of live theater is you can feel when they're into it, even if they're not pausing, and the laughter and and then the applause, and it's like, I did good. But you hop out of the booth and you go and don't know if anyone's gonna see it or if they'll like it. So.
Yeah, so it's really cool to get that kind of feedback.
For sure.
And one of the other things that I just love doing is watching shows with people. So I'm hoping I can do this. I have 2 shows now on Toonami. Yes!
Which 2?
So Attack on Titan, the second part of season 3 starts tomorrow night at 11:30. So I'll see if I can take over the bar. I'm gonna try to. I don't know, not confirmed yet, but I'll try to. And then Sword Art Online season 3 is not immediately after, but the show after that. So
what nights and times are there?
So it's Saturday evening into Sunday.
Is it after Dragon Ball Z and all that?
Yeah, I think Dragon Ball. It's like
Dragon Ball
My Hero. Does anyone know?
Is it Dragon Ball, My
Dragon
Hero?
Ball Super,
My Hero, Titan,
And when did they?
Promise Neverland.
Promise Neverland, then Sword Art.
When is Pop Team Epic on? We were both in that.
Yeah, we were both in
But
that.
Wendy Powell and I were in the same episode because the director knows we're friends and thought we would be
It's on
weird.
Funimation.
Yeah, it's streaming. For me, they
No, but it was on TV.
That's true.
The
It
first
did get
12
applauded.
episodes. Yeah, I made my husband sit through that too, and he's like, "This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen." So only one night did I have 2 shows on Toonami, and they were back to back, and that was quite the same.
Yeah, it's awesome that the block is getting earlier and earlier, so
Thank
more
you.
people can see it. Okay, your question, my family. So my wife is not really into anime. She's not really a gamer, but I think she appreciates my work,
Yeah.
but I talk too much, so she doesn't want to hear me talk anymore. And then she hears me practice
I
all
can't
the
wait to
time.
meet her.
She's great. She's great. So I was working on 7 Deadly Sins, and once in a while you get the opportunity to binge a show in Japanese before you work on it.
Yeah, I haven't had that luxury yet.
I've been really fortunate to have some characters that have a ton of lines in the
That's
shows.
great.
So when that happens, I try to watch the show if I can.
I totally would.
So it was 7 Deadly Sins. I was watching it through, and it's really, really a great show. So I did this thing where I'm like, oh, one more episode, and then you watch one more, and you're like, one more episode, and watch one more, and then the sun comes up, and you're like, what have I done? So I was binging the show, and it got to this arc where there's a tournament, and there's this little annoying referee named Lovehelm, and I heard the Japanese voice, and I'm like, I feel like I can get kind of close to this voice. So I started practicing, and my wife was very pregnant at the time, and she bust into my home office, and she's like, if you do that voice one more time, I'm having this baby now. So I was not allowed to practice anymore, that particular voice at home. So that's, I think, how she feels about my acting. And then it's really cool now because I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 4-month-old son. So thank you. So my daughter is getting old enough to watch some of the stuff I work on. So she was a fan of Rough Tweet and Dave. And then I asked her.
Is she connected to you?
No, she hasn't really. I think just now she's just starting to. So I was like, who's your favorite character? And she picked a different character.
Oh no.
Come on.
Brutally honest.
Oh. So recently I was on a kid's show called Yoo-Hoo and Friends, which I play a talking lemur. And it's a great kid's show. It's on Netflix. So she loves that show, and she was like watching all of the episodes, and I'm like, who's your favorite character? And she picked a different character. I'm like, no! Miss again!
Do you even tell her that you do the characters?
She knows. There's one more show that I'm trying to get her to watch called Miraculous Ladybug. It's like a strong female superhero. Her friends are starting to like it.
Okay.
So now she's like her friends are like, your dad is this character, and she's like, no, my dad is Bryce. Like, it hasn't fully connected yet. So I'm fingers crossed. I got a chance to win her over. So hopefully I'll be one of her favorite characters sometime soon.
It's funny because we're very opposite. I'm a very shy performer. Like, if I'm performing, it's on an audience, yes. If I'm working with the director, yes. But I don't want anyone to hear me practice.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone, like when my husband's working from home, when I'm trying to do an at-home audition, I'll go get in my car. Like, and I don't know why, because he's not going to be mean or critical. It's just, I'm private, like I privately practice because I'm getting embarrassed.
Yeah, I wish my auditions would stay in my office, but usually they wake up the neighbors.
He did get mad at me one time when he was playing a video game and I didn't know I was making react sounds to everything, and he just stopped and he looked at me and he's like, is this gonna go on all night? I didn't even mean to, I was just like, I can see how that would get old.
Have you ever done an audition at a convention?
No.
I definitely have, from the hotel rooms. So if you hear someone yelling, grenade! Sorry. Sorry about that.
We just have a couple of more minutes, I'm being told. Does anybody else have something that we have? Yes.
So, I'm only 11, but
What?
I love.
Sorry for all the terrible things we've said on this panel.
Sorry to have to.
I also love anime. But, I've always liked voice acting and stuff, but a lot of animes are inappropriate,
Yes.
and I really want to anime voice act, but
You can have standards. I keep bringing her up, even though she's not here yet. Wendy Powell is a teacher, and she's not gonna let anybody film unless she gets permission from this gentleman who, has a badge and everything, but because if she says anything inappropriate, she could get trouble. If she works on a show, and you can find out the directors respect that. They'll be like, there might be some mature content, or if you have a problem with this, they're pretty open about what the material is, because they don't judge you for that, because a lot of people don't want to be attached to trash.
Yeah, especially when you're under 18, you always have a parent there or a teacher on the set. They always clear everything by them before, so you know kind of what you're getting into, and there's nothing wrong with not wanting to be part of something that's not your standards.
No, and I respect that. Yes, you can totally do anime, and there are plenty of shows that are not nasty.
And plenty of shows that are nasty.
Yes, but there also are no
Avoid those
good
ones.
ones. And when I would show up to one and not know it was inappropriate, they'd be like, you knew it was a bad sign. They were like, do you want a fake name? And I was like, yes. Yes, please.
Like on this one, yes. Beyond anime also, I do something called Walla.
Oh yeah, we do that.
And I work on, all sorts of different kinds of shows. I won't tell you the title of the show I'm working on, but it's for HBO, and it's a very HBO type show. Yeah.
Are you ever going to be able to, or you just don't want to because you don't?
It's not out yet.
You're just
but
allowed to.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't say anything yet. But
How fun!
you probably won't even tell it's me. Actually, if we do our job well, you won't know that someone has gone in and done those things. So on top of recreating, so what Walla is recreating background sounds. So quiet for a second. You hear a few people talking in the hall.
Exactly.
It sounds like
It might be diner ambiance, or street market, or you're shopping,
Yeah. And we also do this thing called bits, where you're replacing dialogue of people on camera. So I worked on Gotham, and
Cool.
I did a lot of Bruce Wayne's efforts. So
so
things
they
like,
he don't know you came in and redid his.
no one should know, hopefully, if I do it well. It was a lot of this. And that's it.
Right.
But instead of anime, it's just a person on
Right.
the screen. But you're still doing the same kind of timing
Yeah,
and dubbing.
that's really cool.
So, anyways, coming back to your point of dirty things, HBO. Yeah. We'll see what people think when that stuff
Are
comes
you going to
out.
have your name attached to it or not?
It's an incredible show, but I
Okay.
did some dirty things. I can't wait for you guys to find out. I doubt it. I doubt that anyone will discover it. Maybe, I always say that. I'm like, no one will know that
Do you know
that's
when
me.
it's coming out?
Maybe in the next month or two.
Okay, I'm going to be
Yeah,
looking.
look out for it. It's good. If you watch it, it'll hit and you'll be like, oh, this show's dirty. That must have been what he's talking about. It's a great show. I'll tell you guys when it comes out.
I think that might be all.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. This was super fun. I know immediately after we have autographs.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you didn't get to ask your question, you can come hang out and
Wait,
ask
we're
us
getting it.
at the autograph table. And we also have a panel late. Wait, is autographs here or there? Oh, autographs are right here, so we won't be moving. We also have a panel later this evening. Where
Like,
we.
is it 9 to 11?
10:30 to
Thank you.
10:30?
10:30 to 11:30, where I think we'll be watching things that hopefully aren't too dirty and reacting to them.
Just reacting like, we're not doing Walla, like really, they're gonna watch and see what we think about it.
We probably should do Walla anyways. We should do one that has all bad anime reactions.
I think we should too, and I guarantee Wendy Powell.
She'll love it.
Holy, oh my God. She's hysterical.
Well, thank you guys so much. This was super fun. Appreciate it.
Alright, everybody, if you're a VIP, you can go ahead and stay in here. If you are not a VIP, we're gonna ask you to go ahead, step out the door, go get in line, and get ready to come back in. We will be bringing you in shortly for the autograph session.
Okay.